Jessica's hands were cracked and red from the industrial cleaning solution as she scrubbed the lobby floor of the downtown office building. It was her third job that week, and the clock showed 2:47 in the morning. Her phone sat beside her bucket, volume turned all the way up, because even at this hour she needed to be reachable. Being a single mom meant always being on call, always being ready, always being afraid of that one phone call that could shatter everything. That call came on a Tuesday afternoon, but not in the way she had always feared. Jessica had just finished her morning shift at the diner when her phone rang. The school nurse's voice was calm but urgent. "Your son collapsed during P class. He's conscious now, but we've called an ambulance. You need to come right away." The world tilted sideways. Her 12-year-old son Tyler had been tired lately, she'd noticed. Dark circles under his eyes. Less energy for basketball. But kids get tired, she'd told herself. Growing boys need more sleep. The truth was she'd been too exhausted herself to see what was really happening. Working 3 jobs to keep their small apartment meant she was barely home, barely present, barely holding on. She arrived at the hospital to find Tyler pale and small in the emergency room bed, an IV in his thin arm. The doctor's words came at her like punches. Severe anemia, malnutrition, chronic stress indicators. Your son's body is shutting down, Mrs. Chen. When did he last have a proper meal? The shame burned hotter than any emotion she'd ever felt. She fed him. She wanted to scream. She always made sure there was something. But even as the defensive words formed, she knew the truth. There had been a lot of instant noodles lately. A lot of cereal for dinner. A lot of Tyler telling her he wasn't hungry so she could have the last of whatever they had. The hospital wanted to keep him for 3 days. 3 days she couldn't afford, doing jobs she couldn't miss, for a child who was suffering because she couldn't provide enough. Jessica sat beside Tyler's bed that first night, holding his hand, feeling like the biggest failure in the world. The next morning, a woman appeared in the doorway, mid-40s with kind eyes and a gentle smile. She introduced herself as Sarah Mitchell, Tyler's English teacher. Jessica barely remembered her from the parent-teacher conference she'd rushed through 6 months ago, arriving late and leaving early. "I hope you don't mind me coming," Sarah said softly. "Tyler is special. I needed to see how he was doing." Jessica tried to hold it together, but the kindness in Sarah's voice cracked something open inside her. The tears came hard and fast, months of exhaustion and fear pouring out. Sarah didn't offer empty platitudes. She just pulled up a chair and sat there, present and solid, while Jessica fell apart. When the storm passed, Jessica told her everything. The 3 jobs, the mounting bills, the constant choice between rent and groceries, utilities and medication, the overwhelming weight of trying to be enough for a child who deserves so much more. Sarah listened to every word. Then she asked a question that seemed strange in the moment. "Do you know why Tyler is such a beautiful writer?" Jessica shook her head, confused. "Because he writes about you," Sarah said. "Every assignment about heroes, about strength, about love. He writes about his mom, about how hard you work, about how you never give up, about how you always make sure he has what he needs even when you go without. Tyler sees you, Jessica. He sees everything you sacrifice, and he thinks you hung the moon." Fresh tears spilled down Jessica's cheeks. "What he doesn't see," Sarah continued, "is that you're drowning. And neither did I until yesterday. But I see it now, and I want to help." Jessica started to protest. She didn't need charity. She didn't need pity. But Sarah raised a gentle hand. "This isn't charity," she said. "This is community. This is what people do for each other. Let me make some calls." Over the next 48 hours, something remarkable happened. Sarah reached out to other teachers, to parents, to members of her church community. She didn't share Jessica's private struggles, only that a family needed support. The response was overwhelming. The school counselor knew about a grocery assistance program Jessica qualified for but had never heard of. A parent who owned a property management company had a maintenance position that paid more than Jessica's 3 jobs combined, with benefits and normal hours. Another parent was a nurse who helped Jessica navigate the hospital billing and found financial assistance programs that would cover most of Tyler's care. But Sarah didn't stop there. She organized a meal train so Jessica would have dinner delivered every night for 2 months. She connected Jessica with a community resource center that provided free after-school care for Tyler. She even found a local scholarship program that would cover Tyler's basketball league fees and equipment. When Jessica tried to thank her, overwhelmed by the tsunami of support, Sarah shook her head. "I should have seen this sooner," she said. "Tyler would come to school early and stay late. He was always hungry. He'd do homework in my classroom because it was warm. The signs were there and I missed them. We all did. But we see you now, Jessica, and we're not going anywhere." Tyler spent 3 days in the hospital getting stronger. Jessica started her new job the following Monday, working normal hours for the first time in years. She was home when Tyler got back from school. She was present at dinner. She was there for bedtime stories again, something she hadn't managed in months. 6 weeks later, Sarah asked if Jessica and Tyler would speak to the school board about family support resources. Standing in front of that room full of educators and administrators, Jessica felt Tyler's hand slip into hers. She told him about hitting rock bottom, about the shame of not being enough, about the terror of watching your child suffer because you're stretched too thin. And then she told him about Sarah, about a teacher who saw beyond test scores and behavior reports to the human struggle underneath. Because of one teacher's compassion, Jessica said, her voice steady and strong, "My son didn't just get medical care. We got our lives back. We got hope back. We got to be a family again." Tyler squeezed her hand and looked up at her with those eyes that Sarah said wrote such beautiful things. In that moment, Jessica finally saw herself the way her son had always seen her, not as a failure but as a fighter, not as inadequate but as unstoppable, not as alone but as deeply, profoundly loved. Sarah's phone call that Tuesday afternoon hadn't just been about a medical emergency. It had been the beginning of everything changing. It had been the moment when struggle transformed into strength, when isolation became community, when one act of compassionate awareness created ripples that would last a lifetime. Sometimes the greatest kindness isn't solving every problem. It's seeing someone's pain, believing in their worth, and showing up with help that honors their dignity. Sarah didn't save Jessica's family. She reminded them they were worth saving and connected them with tools to save themselves. That's the kind of kindness that changes everything. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Pure Kindness Stories. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that they're not alone, that help exists, and that one person's compassion can truly change lives. Together, we can build the kind of community where no one has to struggle in silence, where every parent feels supported, and where every child knows they matter. Thank you for being part of spreading kindness today.